Good evening, Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, here in Sarasota, Florida, on the Gregorian calendar. On the 13 moon galactic calendar, which is the primary calendar I follow, it is the first month of the year, the magnetic moon of purpose, in the blue rhythmic storm year, and we are on day 20, so it's magnetic 20. This is video 22, I think, out of 30 in a series that I've called Touching the Soul Through the Heart, Body, and Mind. A series being done primarily to help me get back into a rhythm and to find a momentum in my world of work. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of putting things into writing and giving voice to intentions, dreams, desires, goals. If your goal is to make something real, to achieve a desire, to achieve an intention, I have learned by direct experience the unbelievable difference it makes, the very real increase statistically you will have in reaching your dreams if you put them to writing and if you give them voice. And then if you continue to hone in, revisit what you write, continue writing about the process of achieving the dreams, continue tweaking how and what you want to, the details of it, give it voice and write it down. And I promise you, you will notice how it is different than if you just blindly, aimlessly go after a particular dream or intention or desire. Now, in this short video, I'm going to take the opportunity to myself have the courage to give specific voice or to give voice to my specific goals for my company of me. One at a very high level and one that is very specific. The high level goal over the course of the next 13 months, I have as my goal by the end of this blue rhythmic storm year, which is July 25th, 2025, I want to have earned a minimum of $13,000 outside of my event work through my company of me. My event work technically is under my company of me, but my event work, at least in the roles that I play in my event work at present, is not my dream work. It's not. I'm very grateful for the work. I'm grateful for the fact that I've been in it for 21 years. I'm grateful that I've gotten to the point where I know a lot of people. I'm able to keep my calendar packed, but I am not able to do what moves my heart and soul the most in that world, at least not right now. So my goal is to earn an average of $1,000 a month between now and July 25th, 2025 through my company of me. So that's a very high level. How it comes, I would like it to come obviously through things associated with my book. That this is a completed product that I will be speaking more about and really working to develop a specific marketing plan for this. It will involve, I hope, my 13 moon presentation. It will involve further collaborations with my current partner in our event world and also with other people, the friend that I alluded to yesterday that I met in yesterday's video that I met up with 2 nights ago. It could involve some future collaborations with him over the course of the next 13 months. I don't care how it comes. I just have as my energetic goal to have earned at least $13,000 between now and July 25th, 2025. Now, in 2024, Gregorian year 2024, I have been working another very specific goal. I vowed to myself that every single book that I sell, every book, the money I make, and it's not even the profit because I have the books already here. I already spent the money to get copies of the book here. Anything that's bought on Amazon, that money is obviously, it's after the expenses and the cost that Amazon takes, whatever's deposited in my account. Every penny I make on my books goes directly to principal-only payments for my home. I'm going to save for another video why it was such a challenge for me to take on a mortgage. I never, ever intended or wanted to have a mortgage. It's an aspect of what I call the regular 3D world that I am not. I am not a fan of debt society. I'm not a fan of debt in any way. I'm not a fan of paying interest to bankers. I'd much rather pay it privately. When I first bought this home, I had a private mortgage with a wealthy guy, to be certain, but I would much rather pay an individual that I know versus a banker, some globalist billionaire banker. So having a mortgage is not something I'm super comfortable with. I almost put the house up for sale again in the fall, but because I would have to leave the state and because all my work is still pretty focused here, it just isn't the time to make that move. Therefore, I came at it with a different angle. I did the rough math. Roughly, I average a profit of $10 with Amazon sales of my book and if I sell them privately. $10 a book on what I currently owe on the mortgage means I would have to sell approximately 19,000 books. Now, 19,000 books. I guess like everything from a certain perspective, for some people, maybe that sounds outrageously high. For me, that does not sound outrageously high. To sell, if I were to find some sort of flow, if I were to find a network, a particular niche, if I were to get on one person's podcast, a couple people's podcast who have a few thousand followers, I could sell 19,000 books quite easily in a year's time, let alone in the next 2 or 3 years put together. Easily. Every book I've sold in 2024, I have taken every penny, and when I make my monthly mortgage payment, I have made that money, those earnings with the books, I've added that to principal-only payments. Now, so far this year, it's only been, I haven't even added it up. Maybe it's been $300. So it's minimal. It's maybe even laughable to some people, but it is a real goal. And I'm telling you, when you give voice to it, when you put it down on paper, and when you stand behind it with confidence, even in the face of every other person in your life perhaps laughing at you, watch the magic happen. So today, short video. Every book sale is a principal-only payment on my home. I have approximately $188,000 left to pay on my mortgage. That's roughly 19,000 books. I'm on a mission to make those 19,000 sales. And the high-level goal of $1,000 a month, averaging at least $1,000 a month between now and July 25th, 2025, through my company of me with work that is outside my event work. It's direct. Maybe it'll make people uncomfortable that I'm being that specific, because sometimes when you start talking numbers and sharing things like that, maybe it makes some people uncomfortable. There's a lot of people out there that would maybe never reveal such specifics. I'm at a stage in my life where this is the move I'm making. This is the move I'm making because I am determined, as I shared in last night's video, I'm determined to break through this time. I know what my earning capacities are because money is just energy. And the amount of energy I have, and when you consider it in all the different ways that energy goes through us, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, the amount of energy that I have the capacity to channel and to allow to come through me far exceeds monetarily what I've been yet able to manage. A lot of that comes from my emotional wounds. A lot of that comes from mental messages of telling myself messages of poverty consciousness, telling myself messages of low self-worth for far more years than the more recent changes I've made in terms of living an abundant-based life and a self-loving based life. Those are relatively new changes, relatively new, not even a decade, because it took quite a few years into my spiritual awakening to even begin to shed some of those deep wounds and those old belief patterns. But I'm determined. And these next 13 months, this is when it's going to happen. So you got a behind the scenes for the dozen or so people that may watch this. Those are the stated goals. And I can't wait for 13 months from now to return to see how I did. Okay? Have a great night.